Alright, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Suicide Battalion, 1958. I'm giving it 2 out of 5 stars. I just like this movie. The only good thing it has going for it are the explosions. Otherwise, it's boring, it's dumb. It gets a 4.5 rating on IMDb, 114 ratings total on IMDb. Very obscure film, AIP, black and white, with Mike Connors and the other guy's name, John Ashley, I think. John Ashley, who was also in Apocalypse Now. So this film takes place in the Philippines. It's filmed in the Philippines, which is probably how Roger Corman got his idea for doing the Big Bird Cage and those Philippines women in prison movies with Pam Grier. But they probably filmed it in the Philippines to save money. It was supposed to be a Korean War movie, but they made it into a World War II movie against the Japanese. So they're in the Philippines. These demolition experts, and they want to blow up the Japanese headquarters. So they go on this suicide mission. These 6 guys. They stop in a village. I forget the name of the village, but they get like a cash advance, and they go to this party village in the Philippines where they meet all these women. This one guy has the hots for Filipina villager, but he has to give her all these animals and Jeep as part of the dowry. And the reviewer on IMDb calls this very cheap. Anyways, I'm sorry. This wasn't filmed in the Philippines. My mistake. I take that back. It was filmed on sound stages. Correction. My mistake. Sorry about that. Anyways, forget what I said about Philippines and Roger Corman. Okay, it's simulated Philippines on soundstage. That's why it's very cheap, according to this Sergeant Slaughter reviewer on IMDb. Okay, so I got that straight. I fixed my mistake, and moving on. So the party, they try to marry this one demolition guy. And meantime, Mike Connors has the hots for this woman reporter. There's this guy reporter who's trying to get in on the action and failing badly. So the Japanese come and bomb the heck out of the main base where they came from. They take over the village where they were staying. So the demolition guys start on their mission, and one of the guys disobeys Mike Connors, tells him he's not going unless the lady reporter goes. So she puts herself in all of this danger. She regrets it, but like I said, there's a love triangle going on with John Ashley and Mike Connors and the reporter. John Ashley was flirting with her when Mike Connors was kind of brushing her off, but he was still giving her the eye, and she fell for him. So John Ashley is jealous, and he hates Mike Connors, continually disobeying orders and telling him he hates him and all this stuff. And Mike Connors threatening to court-martial him, that kind of thing. Pretty boring stuff. Not much going on. It's mostly a soap opera, like I said. And most of the movie is in the party town, so it's not really a war movie. It's kind of like a stupid war comedy kind of thing, like The Sarge, which was another Cannon movie, The Sarge. It was pretty bad. Oh, it was called a man called. It was a man called Sarge, I guess. A Man Called Sarge, 1990. Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Pretty lame, hokey, kind of corny war jokes. Not very funny at all. So, let me shut the door. I'll be right back. So I keep telling you the coronavirus keeps getting worse by the day. And late yesterday afternoon, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, the petty tyrant, decided that he wasn't going to reopen the economy until 6 conditions were met. All of these conditions are contingent upon the state being satisfied, not the individual. So looks pretty hopeless there. The only way that something good could happen is if President Trump stops dilly-dallying and he just reopens the economy somehow, which is something that is painstakingly difficult for him when it should be super easy. So that's the lame situation. I started to have a glimmer of hope yesterday, thinking that, well, at least they're considering reopening it. But it looks pretty hopeless at this point. I was saying maybe June they would do something, but I don't know. It's up in the air as far as I'm concerned now, after doing my research and actually paying attention to the details. Because when I did my video yesterday, I think he was going live or something like that. He was going live with his announcement. The petty tyrant, Gavin Newsom, he used to be mayor of San Francisco. I thought he was kind of middle of the road kind of guy, who was a bit business friendly here in San Francisco, but he changed when he became governor. He became more of a so-called progressive kind of petty tyrant, and that's the situation we're in here. It's probably different in other states, but it's interesting how he kind of formed a pact with all of his so-called progressive communist petty tyrant governors in California, Oregon and Washington, those three governors, that they would all reopen together like a team. And then he went off and came up with his own conditions for reopening. It's almost like he contradicted himself, because he didn't work with the other governors to come up with those conditions. He just came up with those all by himself. So it's pretty grim. The economic numbers came in for retail and manufacturing, and they were pretty grim. Unemployment is way up. They're expecting another 5 million people to apply for unemployment in the next week that they're going to report it. And I finally got into the IRS portal for my $740 reduced stimulus check, because I filed taxes early, and consequently they're basing it on my 2019 tax year. I think I made $83,000 something, which was my highest earning income. So I made too much money last year, and they're going to penalize me. Instead of $1,200, I'm getting $740. So I go on the website a couple hours after they launched it, and it was pretty slow, but got all my information in there. They said that I'm eligible for payment, but they don't know when I'm going to get payment. And then I read Yahoo News, and it says that Munchkin, that idiot who works for Trump, he says that my payment will be coming in a few days. So then I read that other people couldn't even get any information about their payment, because there's a bug in the system or something. I hope there's a bug that creates like $8 million payment in my checking account. That would be nice. I think Dr. Paul was talking about that. He wasn't even eligible for stimulus payment. He probably got one. But yeah, it's a mess. It's disaster. It's complete craziness. And tonight I think I'm just going to wait in my car for a couple hours, watch Daddy-O on MST3K, another AIP movie. There are a bunch of other war movies from AIP. I think that Sergeant Slaughter guy mentioned a couple of others. Let me see if I can pull them up. This one's called Suicide's Battalion. This is probably my least favorite so far, just because I couldn't relate to the characters. I thought they were a bunch of goofballs and not very interesting to me. None of them really appealed to me as characters whatsoever. And yeah, this guy Sergeant Slaughter, he's talking about Hell Squad, Tank Commandos, Tank Battalion, there's Bridge to Hell and Commando Squad. So I wonder if any of those are on YouTube. I'll probably get around to them if they're in the 60s era, late 50s, 60s kind of thing. I had no idea that AIP did so many war movies, but apparently they did like I think it's seven war movies, kind of like canon, I guess. A Man Called Sarge, that movie was even worse than this. It was like unwatchable, boring as heck, dumb war comedy like this. but even worse. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of this, and not recommended. Not going to say check it out, but I did put the two actors' name in the description box, plus Samuel Z. Arkoff, the producer. So that's the extent of my knowledge of this movie. Sorry about the goof. Filmed on soundstage in Santa Monica, not filmed in Philippines. But I'm glad that I caught myself and I didn't make a mistake on my movie reviews. I hate it when I make a mistake and then I don't correct myself before clicking on the end stream button, and then I have to go back to my next video and correct myself, which is highly unlikely that somebody would watch back-to-back videos, especially now that Adrian, the Australian guy, who's my age, I guess he gave up on me. Haven't seen his comments for weeks. He's probably like I am, trying to survive the best he can. And my thoughts and prayers go out to him. But people come and go. I had the Audra Hando and the lady from Texas or something. This was probably 5 years ago, when, or at least a few years ago. There was Garbage Can, Film Man, and then Adrian. So I get there was a Japanese guy, forgot his name, and so people come and go. They get sick and tired of my videos, and they leave. It's just the nature of YouTube. My statements are highly controversial. I realize that. For instance, if I spouted my opinion on the vaccine, which I may or may not have done already, I'd probably turn off everybody on this channel who watches. I do know the vaccine is for the coronavirus was tried on animals in 2002 when the very first coronavirus came out in China, and all the animals died because their immune systems overreacted when they got the coronavirus after getting the vaccine. So Bill Gates wants another vaccine, and he's already gotten immunity for one that he develops, or his company develops, one of his companies. I don't understand how Microsoft went from computer software to vaccines, but he's got his nose in it somehow. I'm not sure how, but the vaccine manufacturer, if it's Bill Gates' company or indirectly Bill Gates is investing in the company as some sort of partner or owner, then he has immunity for any vaccine that's tested in the United States. The thing is, they're not even testing it on animals anymore. They're just going to give it straight to humans. Normally it takes 3 to 5 years to get a vaccine. They're trying to foist it upon us, which kind of makes me worried about what my ex-wife will do to get my son vaccinated, because she has the tie-breaking vote on medical decisions, which is what the stupid judge put in our custody. So that could be a problem later on down the road, but I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get there. I had sole authority to make medical decisions for my mother, and I didn't I didn't allow the nurses to give her the flu vaccine, which is completely useless and counterproductive. But I did give them consent to give her the pneumonia vaccine. I'm not too sure about the difference between the two, but maybe I'll research it after I'm done with this video. That's the end of my review. Laters.